Welcome to Last Week in Warframe, a series where I keep you updated on the past week of Warframe by compiling all news, announcements, and general posts by the developers from the forums, Reddit, Twitter, and even their live streams. Timestamps to each topic as well as their sources are in the description, so without further ado, let's go over these announcements and news from the 4th to the 11th of May. Starting this week's episode off, we had Devstream from Home number 3, or Home Stream number 3. The Tennocon 2020 digital event will continue to be on the 11th of July, but no further information about the event itself has been shared. The Deadlock Protocol update is planned to release for May, but due to the continued events, they've said that it could possibly be pushed back to June, thus the delay buffer on the road to Tennocon 2020 image. The Duviri Paradox as of this stream is now a 2021 project with no release in 2020, as the team is committed to the year of the new war, and that the work from home situations has reduced their access to important tools like motion capture and more. Now, a new question and answer chat tab is being added to Warframe that aims to help new players. A work in progress view of Garuda Deluxe in-game was shown on stream, but she remains in development, as her talons and a bit of her skin was not complete. Khora Deluxe was shown in-game via the Fortuna Captura scene, and in relation to her deluxe skin, she'll be receiving custom agile and noble animations, which DE animator Elise Geimer had shared more of on Twitter, as you can see on screen. Now, a new Dojo room for Dojo Decorators is coming soon, and that is a dedicated Skybox room. This way you don't have to glitch out of the rooms for major projects to use their Skybox. Steve mentioned that those who worked on this room do have plans on adding more than the shown Skybox to the room and the option to switch between certain Skyboxes, but it seems to be releasing with the base Skybox. They also shared depth and breadth stats for the PC meta of Scarlet Spear. Now I'll play a clip explaining this and breaking it down.
Stats for Scarlet Spear. This was just, a lot of players were asking about like the Scarlet Spear meta and all of, who were the most used frames and such, and taking inspiration from another set of data another game released in terms of sort of the breadth and depth chart. So it's an axis with 4 quadrants that really summarizes your habits during Scarlet Spear. This in particular is from PC, but it is safe to say that console is in a similar situation. So basically there's 4 quadrants on this chart. It's divided by depth and breadth. So what that means is, of all the frames that were used in Scarlet Spear, you can kind of take a look at what was niche, what was popular, what was broad, and what was generally unpopular. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means if something was niche, the people who used it was a very limited group, but they used it a lot. If it was popular, a lot of people used it, and the people that did use it a lot. If it was broad, it was used a lot, but not very deep. And if it was unpopular, it didn't really fit into a big depth or a big breadth.
DE are making an option to view the Old Blood Kuva Lich creation cinematic to the Kuva Lich history screen, and they're also adding a join any crew button for each Proxima region in Railjack that will put you into any node with a public crew and free slot in that region. Scott had also shared his thoughts on the launch of Railjack Revisited Part 1 and thoughts and plans for Part 2.
We said Part 2 will be coming and learn more about it later. Scott, what do you think about Part 1 so far, and what are your hopes and dreams with Part 2?
I think it was well received. I think it's heading in the right direction, and hopes and dreams with Part 2 would be to revisit Intrinsics. So I think the second half of Intrinsics, like the top tiers, kind of need to be worth the amount of effort they are to get. So having a look at what is involved to make those maybe more powerful or more useful, looking at increasing the amount of Railjack content through game modes, through hooking it into existing systems, kind of like the long-term promise that Railjack has. So figuring out ways that we can do that quicker than kind of the schedule probably previously warranted or allowed. And then I think, more balancing and more, I heard complaints maybe that it's a little bit too easy, but I think we did that kind of as giving us room to grow with future content and future challenges.
Right.
So my hopes and dreams are to add more and hook it deeper into the game and give more reasons to use it and play it. I just want to thank the test cluster for helping us out with that as well.
Yes.
It was a lot of great feedback that came in, even on the single weekend that we kind of ran it. Few days that we did run it, we got a lot of great feedback that we could react to and make adjustments based on across all aspects of the Railjack stuff that we touched. So that was great.
Just reading chat, I think it lines up pretty well, Scott, with what you're hoping. I saw people saying similar things like hook it to existing missions, more diversity there, more mission types, and definitely some people are saying that difficulty feels great now and feels much more Warframey, like you're saying.
The developers had also brought up the topic of a hard mode option for missions, but this is in the prototype stage. This is what they shared on stream, mind the high tenor.
So speaking of challenge, that's a very common conversation around Yi Virtual Office. And one thing that's in the prototype phase, which I'll cut to gameplay quickly and then we can talk about, is an idea that has had a lot of discussion over the years, but essentially using this placeholder UI I'm going to demonstrate. I have cleared the star chart, this is what I've done, and now I can go to Earth, and when I click a node like Mantle, which is, one of the first missions you play, it actually presents you with a hard mode option, so you can do your regular mission, or hard mode, which is a version of a star chart anew once you've completed it that you can complete on hard mode.
Yeah, so what's this all about, Scott? It seems interesting and also scary.
It's also scary. Hard mode. The other thing that is a part of this is after you've completed the hard mode, there's another tier that we're going to unlock as well. This basically allows you to jump into game modes on tile sets where you want a harder challenge without basically running for a half hour or running for, an hour to get to those harder level enemies. So the hard mode currently is enemy base level plus 50, and then the ultra hard mode, as I call it, is base enemies plus 100 as a starting point. We're currently looking at what the rewards are for this. Currently, we're looking at resource attenuation. XP is also just boosted naturally by the enemy level that goes up. And we're also looking at potentially mastery implications and maybe some ship decorations for like trophies for completion of regions on each of the hard mode or ultra hard mode. So you get something for your ship to show that you've completed that region at that difficulty level.
I think the hard mode thing to me is like one of the most exciting ways to engage with all the levels we have again, because right now you get taken across the solar map that you've unlocked in a number of ways. You have your fishers, you have your Kuva Lich chase downs, but to be able to get a version of earning XP on maps that you don't typically do that in, I think is going to be awesome. Like Hydron, you go there because of the level and the density it offers gives you that sort of XP harmony, but to have that elsewhere due to this re-upped challenged solar map, I think is pretty...
Yeah. I don't necessarily think this is going to pull people out of the loot caves. I think some of those loot caves are they're built for people that like the known challenge. I think they go there because of the familiarity. They go there because they know there's going to be other players. It's I think Glenn talked about this a long time ago, which is like the Warframe chill, right? Like you can just kind of zone out and play the game. And I think the current loot caves that exist are kind of that. Players can go there and it's kind of a relaxing way to play the game, to grind up your gear. This, I don't necessarily see this as a replacement for that. I think this is for players that are like looking for a challenge for their gear and want to see some of the other star chart stuff, or maybe chasing a little bit more progression. I think it's more for those players. Gear testing, I think, will be a big thing on this. Like, hey, now I can go test out my cool build on an actual level versus a simulacrum versus an enemy level that I want to test against, and it doesn't take me 45 minutes just to get to that point in survival. So I think it's for those players, and I don't think it's necessarily the replace the loot cave mentality.
Yeah, I think that's
my opinion.
Yeah, I think we have sort of a duty to serve that player anyway, so this seems like a great way to do it.
And some people were suggesting make the planets a ship deco that you can earn, which I think was something you talked about, Scott.
That's the hope. Yeah, you get a ship deco with some sort of icon or something that says that it's the hard or ultra hard version.
Some people were worried about splitting matchmaking and stuff. That's something obviously we've talked about internally as a concern, and kind of like, are the pros outweighing the cons kind of thing. Do you have any thoughts on that, or is that something? I guess that's sort of we'll have to see how it goes, kind of thing, right?
I think it'll be a react how it works. I think it might be interesting if people select the base mission, if in the voting maybe they can also vote to like up the difficulty.
Right. I saw some people saying, could the mission just scale to your level instead of you having to pick, which I unfortunately think we probably can't do that because of the matchmaking, because you kind of want to know what you're getting into, right?
Yeah, and I think it ruins player choice. Part of this, I think, is player choice, like looking for the difficulty challenge that you're into that day, right? You're not always looking for the palm sweating, I have to be on this 100%. You might have just worked a 12-hour shift at work on your feet, and you just want to chill out for a while, and you want to play your Hydron that you've played a million times, and you just want to play your game and chat with your buddies. And that's not going to be hard or ultra hard mode. It's going to be the normal, regular mode, and you're just going to play. And this is going to be for those times where you're like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself and give it a try.
I really think that, all the questions I saw in chat about hard mode that Steve brought up are ones that, we do need to think about, but ultimately the player case for them is just, there's such a case to be made for it that I'm really quite excited.
Lastly, for the Devstream from home, a Corpus head shoulder piece will be coming with the Deadlock Protocol, according to Rebecca. Moving on, PC had 3 hotfixes over the course of this week, those being 27.4.2, 0.4.3, and 0.4.4. Notable changes within these hotfixes include pet companions teleporting alongside you in Railjack missions when transitioning between using the Omni tool, Arcwing Slingshot, cruise ships, and more. As for the numerous fixes that occurred throughout the patches, you can find the information via their patch notes on the forums or by my collected patch note video linked in the description or by clicking the card on the top right of your screen. Next up, DE Bear created a forum post outlining security precautions you can use to keep your Warframe account safe. For PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, update 27.4.4 Railjack Revisited is live on your platforms. And outside of the update 27.4 changes and content that PC players received, you'll be getting some Tennocon. All the information about this update can be found in your respected platform's forum post for the patch notes, as this video is of course last week in Warframe. Lastly, the winners of the Ultimate Portal Trick Shot contest have been announced and are displayed up on your screen. Cutting in after editing the original audio, so apologies if there's an audio shift here, but on Twitter, Steve said the following with 2 videos, one that's playing now as I'm talking, and I'm not going to say I know what this means, but, this is for those that really enjoy this behind the scenes, work in progress kind of stuff. So this is what the tweet said. Work in progress test of the new voxel-based unified lighting system. No light maps. Characters, environment, everything lit from unified voxel values sampled in world space. Then we go to the second tweet, which was in the tweet chain, simple editor example. With this system, lighting matches between environment and dynamic objects, inspired by Sony's God of War PS4 approach. So once again, for those that enjoy the behind the scenes work in progress stuff from Steve, there you go, he did post 2 of those. Anyway, that concludes this episode of Last Week in Warframe. If you found the video informative, make sure to leave a like. If you think I can improve upon the series in any way, shape or form outside of sharing my own opinion, you can do so in the comments section. If you want the channel glyph, there are 5 codes per platform. Chuck them into the promo code section on the Warframe website. They are one-time use, so if someone has already used the code, you won't be able to use that code. Nintendo Switch currently has no glyph codes due to me waiting for a restock at my own decision. And if you missed out on last week's episode, the annotation on your screen will take you right to it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.